men, and I use the term in a manly way today. Hey, welcome back to Gay Chronicles Part 8. We're going to pop a tranny in, put an oil pump on, and bang in some cam bearings. Stay tuned.
Okay, I'm getting ready to put the transmission in this K model over here. And, you get in a hurry sometimes and you forget to put this seal in. Well, once you have the gear shifter shaft in, of course, it's kind of hard to do. So, of course, I like to do it before I put that in. And I made a tool here that really makes it easy. Just a little guide, so to speak. This is the same diameter as the bushing inside. All you got to do is hit it with the hammer, okay? Here's where the beauty of it comes in. The tool is actually a two-piece tool. So if you've got the cam cover on, you could take the seal, put it on here, snake this in behind the cam cover, then take the tool, run it through the hole in the cam cover, and boom, there you go. Doesn't get any easier than that. And it guarantees perfect alignment. So anyway, that's why I do it. Okay, here's another little FYI. After I got done doing the weld repair to the countershaft bearing bore on the right case, I put the cases together and I was test fitting everything. And this is the trapdoor that came with it. And what I discovered was that the trapdoor, and I should have noticed this before I did the repair, but what I noticed was the trapdoor did not fit flat on the opening. It kind of rocked. It was warped. And, Jesus, I looked it over real carefully. Couldn't find any burrs or bumps sticking out. So I came to the conclusion that it was warped. And upon careful examination, there's a crack right there. And it goes down into the meat and, it'll eventually work its way to the bowl hole. So the door is no good. I got another door off of eBay. And that door fit much better laid flat. The trouble is that the alignment pins did not align with the holes already in the crankcase. What I eventually found was that if I hung it on the top alignment pin and oversized the screw holes a little bit, I could jimmy it around and get it so the shafts rotated nicely. I did that, put everything together, had the trans in, the gears all in, everything in there, and I just kind of played with it. And I ended up opening these holes up to 3/8 of an inch. And I got it where I wanted it, tightened it down. This pin was in because, that one worked. It just had to be rotated around there. And then I oversized this hole down here. I forget what size it ended up being, but it's bigger than the one that was in there. I just drilled straight through to get it to align. And this pin and this pin, alignment pins, are now hollow. I drilled a hole down through the middle of them. And at the bottom of the hole, there's some threads. So this trans is now going to have two extra bolt holes, two extra bolts, not holes, two extra bolts holding it together. So I got it where I want it, and I'm very happy with this. I like the idea of 6 bolts instead of 4. And on the original design, there's a bolt here, a bolt here, a bolt here, and a bolt here, and there's no bolts around this whole side, unsupported. I mean, it has the pin in it, but nothing holding it down and flat. So anyway, this one will now have 6 bolts instead of 4. I'm very happy with that. All right, we'll do a quick test on the trans. Obviously, I tested the gear shifting before I put it together. And as I often say, every time you put together a rotating assembly, make sure it rotates. If it doesn't rotate, you fuck something up. Figure out what you fucked up and do it over again. Things don't wear in. Well, they wear in, but I mean, if you got something that rotates hard, there's a problem. Figure it out. Anyway, trans is the neutral. It's in first. back to neutral, second, third, fourth. That's pretty damn good. Third, second, there it goes. The shifter dogs, you know, if they hit, if the dogs hit the gear like this, it's not going to go in. So you have to have the trans rotating so that the dogs have a chance to line up with the gear. And whatever that was, second, there we go. There's first. Okay, and then back up to neutral. Okay, perfect. Rotates nice and easy, no binding. I got just the right amount of end play on both shafts. Good to go. Alright, so let's put an oil pump together. Everything's been cleaned 2 or 3 times, parts washer, carb cleaner, blowing out. It's all ready to go. Anyway, this is my oil pump oil seal installing tool. Make sure the seal goes in square, evenly every time. It's in. Now we're going to install the oil pump. I got all new hardware for it. I dry fit the parts a little bit ago and figured out how much stud has to be sticking out of the crankcase. Nice. That's a good fit. Alright, here's a little show and tell, just a little heads up of things you need to, the kind of thing you need to look out for when putting a motor together of unknown mechanical ancestry. Here is the breather sleeve that came out of it, and for some reason or another the guy had this sacked out, stretched out piece of crap snap ring over the shaft. Well, actually it's like this. You know, I don't know what he thought it was doing over there. But anyway, that's what was in there. Obviously not correct. So we'll get rid of that. The other thing that I noticed was the bike had this type of oil pump return gear. And that type of oil pump return gear is meant to be used with these little split keepers over here. They fit nicely in the recess. That's how this is supposed to be arranged. But the shaft, the breather sleeve shaft, has got the narrow groove for our conventional, you know, spring type snap ring that'll pop over here. The trouble with putting that on with this gear is if you put it in in this orientation, the gear is going to have an extra 60 thousandths play of axial chuck, and I'm sure that's going to cause some kind of problem. What exactly, I don't know. So what I plan on doing is just taking this gear and putting it in upside down. And now the snap ring will seat up against the shoulder on the gear nicely. The part of the breather sleeve shaft and the snap ring that stick out above the surface of the gear is going to fit within the counter bore on the cover plate. So that's how I'm going to put this one together. And then just FYI, let's look at the parts books. Okay, this parts book is 76 and earlier, so theoretically that's all of the pumps that are available. But it shows you the split keepers, and it shows you the snap ring and two different kinds of gears. And the other kind of gear I'm sure is just flat on both sides. So I'm sure that what I want to do about turning this over is going to work A-OK. And then FYI, I have the reproduction copy K-model parts book, and it shows the same thing. A snap ring or the split keepers could be used depending on what configuration gear you got in there. So, just another kind of a side note. I probably have been in every parts book I have for various things I run into on this engine, just trying to make sure it's all what it's supposed to be. Well, maybe not what it's all supposed to be, but so that it'll be a combination of stuff that'll work. And that's it. I get a lot of questions off my website on timing the breather. There's not a lot to it. Right now, the vertical line on the flywheel is in the middle of the timing hole. You manipulate the spiral drive gear off and on the shaft until the dot is just over the notch. This one's pretty close to almost exactly center. Some motors are, some motors aren't. I don't know why, what the variation there is, but some of them time out better than others do. This one's pretty good. It's not dead nuts on, but it's pretty pretty close as it's going to be. Then what you run into is, although the spiral gear is a slip fit, the cam drive gear is a press fit. So I got a tool I use to press the gear on. And this is one of those things, you could beat it with a hammer, I suppose, but why would you want to? Well, you'd want to because you don't have the tool. And this one's going on pretty easy. Some don't go on this easy. Some are really tight. This one's not too bad. Actually, this one is pretty snug here towards the end. Alright, that's it. It's bottomed out. Okay, and another FYI. The timing of the breather is set once. You put the line in the window, the dot and the notch, pressure pinion gear on, and that's it. You're done. These two things can't change unless you take the pinion gear off. Where the rest of the timing marks line up is irrelevant. Once this is done, it's done. You don't have to worry about it. Without casting aspersions on the ability of previous mechanics who wrenched this thing, boy, you find some stupid shit. Obviously, this is the cam cover. And there's a heli-coil down in here. The screw's supposed to go through, from the other side. And there's a heli-coil in here. Well, the heli-coil, because I just checked it, is stripped out on the case side. What in the fuck did the guy think he was accomplishing by putting a heli-coil in here? I gotta dig that cocksucker out of there now somehow. Hey, thanks, fucking dumbass. What the fuck? Getting real close to test fitting the cams. Let's put some bearings in.
We're going to wrap this one up right here. Tune in again next week. We're going to take a look at these camshafts. They're just a little bit different. In the meantime, I am out of here. Hey, thanks for watching and please subscribe. Bye.